Good evening, good morning. We're going to read a Wispy Princess. Like I said, I do this about once a year. Sometimes twice a year. Sometimes I don't read them. I just show them or read a page. But I wanted to show you these floors. If you can see, there's a little of a different color over there. That is a, oh goodness, tungsten oil seal. Okay, so this has already been scrubbed once, but I'm going to have to go back and scrub again. Most of this was covered. I myself, well, because we've never really done this. We never had an old house like this old. There was something laying over top of this. It was the nursery rhymes in French. It was a big sheet, like a tile. And it preserved most of this floor. So it's quite impressive. There's just a little bit of paint. And now I was finding that when I was trying to clean up some of what I found, it was going to cause too much indentation, more or less, in the wood. So I had to come up with something else for some of it. But anyhow, outside of that, we're going to read Wispy Princess. And the Rainbow Mist, with a half shadow and a half dark on one cheek. I had no hair here, barely any hair. I had dreads for the first time on the crown of my head, and I had cut them off. I went to a horse farm. Something happened. I hugged a horse. I ended up with some kind of cooties from the horse. So I had to just eventually cut them. It was a cross between drying out my scalp, and we don't know why we're discussing that. So this is dedicated to my niece, my nephew, and my son. The characters in the book were inspired by a glimpse of their personality when they were young. I wouldn't say that it carried on their whole lives. I'm not saying it was the entire who they were. This was a glimpse of one side of them. And to always remember their hearts through all of life's triumphs and challenges. With love, Emily Russell. What else do I need to straighten out? I feel like that it sounded like I was drinking. No, I'm not drinking. So I need to be careful what I say and all that. There's another video, I might have erased it. I was discussing, I'm just not going to look. Okay, once upon a time, there lived the Wispy Princess. And she lived in a stone cottage in the Smoky Mountains with her great aunt and great uncle. Wispy Princess lived far away from many people in the mountains, so she learned to make friends with the little forest creatures. Her best friends were praying mantis and Luna moth. They spent all their sad, happy, living, eating, napping, and sleeping hours together. Their most favorite activity to do was to fish along the streams and rivers near the forest, especially the spot during that special part of the day when the sun hits the waterfalls and it creates a rainbow mist through it. And the fish would jump and jump and jump and jump. There was only one special part of that day, when this rainbow would appear. I will not get into a critique right now. Let's just read the book. None of the art or anything was any of my idea. Okay, so let's get that clear right now. The words are, well, one day, while they were fishing in a special spot, Luna Moth was zooming around Wispy Princess and praying mantis, saying, please, please, let's go into the rainbow mist. I bet it's really cool. Wispy Princess really wanted to go, but praying mantis reminded her of what her aunt and uncle told her. You can do anything, anywhere, but never cross over through the rainbow mist when it appears, or you will be taken to another world to maybe never return. Well, Lunamoth was insistent, and Wispy Princess was ready for an adventure. And Praying Mantis dragged behind, shaking his head, saying, "This is a really bad idea, I think." However, these two were his best friends, and they were all each other had other than her aunt and uncle. And my niece would be Wispy Princess. Praying Mantis, more cautious, concerned, would be my one and only nephew. And the more adventurous Lunamoth would represent my son when he was young. This is all from when they were young. So onward they went during the hour of the rainbow mist, to only tumble and then be whisked up by the biggest butterflies in the whole universe, to then be placed on the biggest bough of the biggest oak tree in the whole universe. Oh, my goodness, I missed a whole important part of the twist of the plot. It's the shortest book in the world, unfortunately. This was during the one thing. Well, Lunamoth was insistent, and Wispy Princess was ready for an adventure. And Praying Mantis dragged behind, shaking his head, saying, "This is a really bad idea, I think." However, these two were his best friends, and they were all each other had, other than her aunt and uncle. That hurt, Tip. Come on, please. So onward they went during the hour of the rainbow mist, to only tumble and then be whisked up by the biggest butterflies in the whole universe, to then be placed on the biggest bough of the biggest oak tree in the whole universe, to only sit there in sheer fright, realizing they could not see the ground through the tallest tree in the universe. They could barely breathe right because their heart was blocking their throats. Then they heard a loud but soothing voice as it resonated through their being. I'm going to go back a page just to show it one more time. Wait. You know what? I skipped a page, I think. No. Just give me one moment. I didn't, fully lose. Okay. So onward they went during the hour of the rainbow mist. I did that part. They could barely breathe right because their heart was blocking their throats. Then they heard a loud but soothing voice as it resonated through their being. As the voice spoke, it said many wise things to them. You will always have impulse, and you will always have the ability to reason about what is and is not a good idea. However, if you can remember deep in your heart is where I live, and you can remember in your heart always that I, God the Creator, love all my children, and I always will. I encourage each and every child to follow their heart, which is where I dwell, and listen to for that soft reasoning and positive message and or directions from me, your Creator God. I will always protect you, and know that the earth life that I am returning you to finish out your individual mission, the earth life I am returning you to can be very painful and difficult sometimes. However, I will wipe away all of your tears each time, even if you do not feel it on earth. I am. Sorry about the hiccup there, but that's all right, right? We're just here to hang out. It doesn't have to be wonderful. I mean, wonderful is lovely, though. Is it not? This was supposed to be a joke. You go the way. Always seek my light, and when darkness gets you down, look for the glimmer of light to run back to. Many people may break your heart, and you will probably break many hearts too. But please, whatever you do, try not to harden your heart. I will carry your burdens. Always apologize for your wrongs, but if you have people in your life who are cold and do not say they are sorry, maybe find new friends to hang with. Do not let them poison your heart. Many will try to do this on earth, to make you bitter and cold like them. Darkness hates light. There is always more to the earthly realm than meets the eye. The biggest deception put forth by all humankind is to make you believe earth is all there is, and that I do not exist. To guide your life, always be a voice for those who have none, when you can. Now I will return you to your earthly mission. Hold strong to your heart, because this is where I am to get you through the worst of the worst tests on that earth. And I need to tell you something that's happened since the tasing, but I hope it goes away soon, is I'm having trouble with like the jaws, and then I'm doing like a weird, like I think it's like locking or something else is haywire. So just, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to do the best I can to retrain myself, but because I was like probably choking on my tongue at one point in a seizure and stuff, and like different things went wrong in the jail while they had it on camera. A week or so in. So here, we're going to be back to this. I'm going to try my best to get everything. Never stay somewhere that you feel abused until someone's safe that can help you get somewhere safe. Try to always return to love in all things. And those who do not support your dreams, step away from them. Your dreams are between you and me. I am your creator, God, not them. Hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses till eternity. Then quicker than a flash, they were standing in their favorite spot to fish, line casted already and all, and they were pleased and grateful to be back home to finish out their life mission. Not much was said about that meeting they just had. They just grinned and figured it would be nice to just admire the rainbow mist from far off now, like they had been told, because they may not have come back if they visit again to finish their mission on earth from God, because that is why they are here. Whatever that mission may be, big or small, or maybe even barely ever noticed by the naked eye, the mission they would discover as they grow older, because it probably lines up with the passion that God put in their hearts for something. They also were in awe of what they learned about themselves and would keep it deep in their heart forever. The meeting that made their little knees shake and their heart felt like it was going to stop. The end. And we had also did the extra paper in the back of this for children. So in church or somewhere where they need to be quiet, they at least have a book. And then if they had crayons, we could have done sets with them. And then we had the extra paper back here. How un-eco-friendly. These are only, they were as per order. There was no bulk books made. Those are of days old, because everyone knows not everyone can be a star. And in the book world, it's even worse. But this is how it isn't. And this is what everyone needs to know. If you can pay out of your butt, you can be any star and the best book writer of the year. Could be the worst book that was ever written. If I had to try to be unbiased about my books, I don't know, nothing special. The storyline is pretty similar to many. A little bit of a twitch to it, but maybe the overall verbal message was a little bit different. A little more of a different from God, like trying to take it from a God. Like the idea if to meet God, what that would be like. If it was a good meeting. No one reported that when the bad meetings happened, but they didn't forget. They didn't forget. A little more scary, a little more frightening. They didn't forget, because see, that's how we remember, and it's like there is a lot of soft, and sometimes we are in a soft place of healing, and we have to allow that person to be in that place. But the ultimate goal is to become stronger, not weaker, mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. And some women, they do need to focus on self-defense and using a weapon for self-defense. They do. And they haven't. And they're probably some of the prettiest girls out there. And then they don't want anything to do with guns, and they don't like this, they don't like that, they don't want any violence. They're just going to have to kill me. And, you know, I don't know. And then there's people out there that would probably say something really mean to that. It's like a very open door for a really mean joke about people like that. Like maybe where they need to go, or, well, maybe it's time, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That's horrible, you know? That's a horrible ideology. Some people are just naturally passive. So, you know, you're not going to get them, you know, gearing up like, well, like Rambo, you know, and just thinking it's so cool and they're having fun and they can, potentially what? Like, I can't. I gotta go, guys. So that was Wispy Princess. I feel like I skipped a page. I mean, no, I wasn't expecting to get rich. Is that really everyone's goal? But I mean, a couple pennies in the plate for me, like every month, would have been nice. Just a little chump change, you know. Cover the electric bill, cover the electric and the gas bill. Hey man, let's aim higher. Pay all the bills. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go. All right.